sponsored by the Jeep Renegade. Back for DePaul in this one. Billy Garrett after missing a ball game. Stephen, that's huge for the Blue Demons.
Yeah, his presence.
Paul. It'll be Henry and Mvouika to tip it off. And Mike Henry unable to win the tip for DePaul, and St. John's has possession to open up this ball game. It's a big one for St. John's. They have played much better basketball their last 3 games, Stephen.
Yeah, it seems like the freshmen, with increased minutes, they're getting more and more confident, really starting to understand what Coach Mullen is expecting of them.
And immediately out of the gates, nearly a turnover. 6 to shoot. Begovic from the corner. And they will count the bucket, I believe. And there was a foul down low as that basketball was on the rim. They will count the bucket. And they get a foul on Aaron Simpson down low.
Well, you see right there, I believe it was Mvouika was putting himself in position on the offensive glass. Aaron Simpson gets called for the push. A 4-point opportunity for well, could have been.
St. John's with a turnover there. The league's worst in terms of turning the ball over. 15.5 turnovers a game, and they had 21 in their 1-point loss against Seton Hall last time out. A devastating loss for Chris Mullen and company.
Yeah, it was tough because they missed 14 free throws as well. Fought back so hard, just couldn't close the deal.
Aaron Simpson fouled. He'll go to the line as we see Chris Mullen, first-year head coach, back in familiar territory. Collegiate Player of the Year, 1985. Such a talented player, now trying his hand at coaching. As Tommy Hamilton picks up where he left off in his last game against Marquette.
Nice set play to get Hamilton point-blank range. And Billy Garrett Jr. with the sweet wraparound bounce pass.
DePaul sorely missed Garrett last time out. Another turnover, second by St. John's. This defense for DePaul can be awfully pesky, especially here at home.
St. John's is like DePaul, turnover prone. Both teams average 15 turnovers a game, so St. John's showing their youth here early.
Tommy Hamilton lowering the shoulder and absorbing that foul was Kasum Mvouika. For DePaul, it's Dave Lato in his second stint as the head man, just in downtown Chicago. 8-18 the record, 2-12 in the Big East. Couple of big wins though. Got Marquette up in Milwaukee and Providence here on their home floor when Providence is in the top 12 of the country.
Yeah, that was a heck of a win for them here at home. And typically DePaul plays ranked teams very well at home. Beat George Washington earlier this year when they were in the top 25. So DePaul is an opportunistic team.
Driving the lane and short on the layup was Mvouika.
That's going to be a tough matchup for Tommy Hamilton. Mvouika, 6'7", quicker, but this is where they need to take advantage. With Tommy Hamilton down on the box.
Eli Kane driving, and he hits the little floater over Begovic.
Eli Kane throwing the chicken wing out, creating a little bit of space along the baseline.
That's big for Eli Kane. He had a very poor game against Marquette at 8 points as Johnson hits a triple. Deron Johnson, the senior, leading scorer for the Red Storm. Eli Kane needs to get going early. Just 2 points in the first half against Marquette last time out. Finished with 8, but most of that was late. Garrett left alone and just a bit short with his 3.
Tough break for DePaul because that's really good vision out of the double team by Kane. Good closeout there, Aaron Simpson without fouling.
Seeing DePaul go to his zone here against St. John's. And three this time, again short by Deron Johnson.
Oh, we saw last time these two teams hooked up. St. John's really beat DePaul up on the glass. Right now, DePaul doing a pretty good job of clearing the defensive rebound.
DePaul has been better at rebounding here of late. But that is certainly an area of concern for Dave Lato. Tommy Hamilton, top of the key, short on a 3. And the rebound tipped out to Aaron Simpson. Another possession.
Nice job on Mike Henry there. Just a fingertip on the ball, that's all he needed. Gives his team another opportunity.
One of the leading rebounders on this team, Mike Henry. He's had quite the collegiate story as Henry driving the lane with the right hand, and he gets the scoop.
Nice attack on the rim. Mvouika coming out, trying to close out. Couldn't keep him out of the paint area.
Malik Ellison got his own rebound and missed the putback. And now Aaron Simpson looking to run. And he will lose the basketball. Goes right into the hands of Kane. He's fouled and he'll shoot a couple. Mike Henry. Yakwe, he's been tremendous.
You know, at 6'7" size, his quickness and length, he's able to guard players much bigger. And yet, guys like Tommy Hamilton will have a hard time guarding him on the other end. It'll be difficult to keep up with his athleticism.
Yakwe, a member of the Big East honor roll last week. Probably would have been the rookie of the week had Edmund Sumner not had a fantastic week for Xavier. First three ball by Ali Begovic. Off the back rim, here comes Aaron Simpson and DePaul, and smartly he pulls it back. Eli Kane fires for three, too strong. Mvouika pulls down the board.
You see right there, Kane went for the steal and was very fortunate. Ali Begovic turns it over.
Time now for our Jeep stats, sponsored by Jeep Renegade. Over the past 5 seasons, no matchup in the Big East has been decided by single digits more than the St. John's and DePaul matchup. They've played 8 such games over the past 5 years, more than the Providence and Villanova series.
It's interesting because the last game did not follow that trend, but I have a feeling this one tonight will. St. John's playing a lot better, even though they lost that tough one that we talked about against Seton Hall. They've gotten better and better.
Smart heads up play out of bounds. That was Johnson who threw it off of Tommy Hamilton's body, keeping possession with the Red Storm. Another talented freshman on the floor, Federico Mussini. Coming off the bench recently. Plays the second leading scorer for Chris Mullins' bunch. Native of Italy.
That's nice offensive action here by St. John.
Great possession as Deron Johnson drills his first three of the ball game. Like that inside-out game.
Yeah, I like that action, too. It was a screen and a banana cut at the free throw line to pull the defense away. Johnson, the recipient, able to stick the three.
Fade away by Tommy Hamilton. That's tough to defend, even if you are Kasum Yakwe. Yakwe down low, fouled, and a chance for a three-point play. Immediately off the bench, Felix Balamu was pushing the tempo.
That just can't happen if you're DePaul. You get a made shot, and yet you get beat down the floor. That's a lack of awareness and a lack of hustle getting back. This is a made field goal now. This is not a miss. It wasn't a long rebound. They had to take it out of the net. And they beat DePaul back. You see right there, Eli Kane is taking pictures out front instead of getting back defensively.
This free throw by Yakwe still gets a couple of points. St. John's with a 1-point lead. All things that these young teams are going to start to learn and learn in a quick fashion.
Well, what happens is you get in the film session, you think that you got away with something. You don't get away with anything on the basketball floor.
Eli Kane nearly turned it over again, but instead, Deron Johnson is going to pick up a personal foul as he hacked Kane on his drive to the basket.
Mike Henry, one of the better scorers for DePaul. Really not involved here early. He got a nice tip to maintain possession, but hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. They could look to get him involved.
He's been a little quiet the last couple of ball games. He had 8 and ran into big-time foul trouble early against Marquette last Saturday. Garrett trying to drive on Balamu. He saw Sema closing in and decided to get rid of it. Turns it over. Another turnover in this one. That is the third for DePaul. If I'm a guard trying to drive in on Yankuba Sema, I'm going to think twice. That's a presence down low.
Oh, big time. And you better go dunk or you better pull up in mid-range, because if you get to the rim trying to lay it up, You're going to see it rejected.
We're down low to Sema. He's got the advantage over Stimmage. And Derek Wood pokes it away from Deron Johnson, and Johnson's going to pick up his second foul.
Good hands. That time by Derek Wood. Deron, a little lax with the basketball. You see right there, looks like he wanted to almost change direction. Derek Wood sat right on his right hand. That's a good defensive play.
It's a big foul on Johnson. Team leader with 6 points. Leading scorer for St. John's.
You see Chris Mullen put his head down, trying to maintain his composure. Not pleased with Johnson. Those are 2 fouls. He got one reaching in the lane, and then that one.
Garrett pops. That's a long 2 for Billy Garrett. A big shot for him, his first of the night. And maybe that'll get him going in the scoring department.
Well, that was just in the flow of the offense. And when he's playing and letting the game come to him, he's pretty tough to stop. He gets in trouble when he forces the issue.
Christian Jones hits his first shot of the night. He's been a big part of this offense for St. John's off the bench. Got some fancy silver shoes going tonight, too.
We've got some shoe aficionados on both sides here this evening.
Felix Balamu picks up his first personal. Joe Hannell checks in for the first time for DePaul. Aaron Simpson back in for the Blue Demons. Kane and Henry head to the bench for a break. Sean Stimmage, the big man down low for DePaul. Coming off a career-high 9 rebounds against Marquette, 6 of those on the offensive end.
That's what Sean Stimmage could do. He could get you some opportunities inside the paint. Not going to do much from 15 out, but inside that paint area, he's dangerous.
There he is on cue with a putback after the offensive board.
I'll tell you what, too, Jeff. That was very savvy of him because he caught it on the right side of the rim. He felt Sema behind him, so he switches to his left hand, used the rim to protect himself from the shot blocker. It's a heads-up play.
Ball movement here by St. John's. Balamu. Too strong that time. Rebound by Simpson. Good defense here by DePaul early. Nice pass by Hannell, and Stimmage finishes. DePaul up by 3.
So you got Joe Hannell in the game that's not really concerned with scoring, and so the ball movement is better at times.
And it's the bench that is sparking things for DePaul.
And then it's interesting, Jeff. DePaul has 8 points in the paint against one of the best shot blocking teams in the country. They've been patient. They haven't shot a lot of jumpers. They've attacked the rim.
Derek Wood a little short with that attempt. Sema altered the shot. There's Ellison for 3. And Ellison ties this game 15 apiece.
Aaron Simpson and Billy Garrett Jr. sitting there looking at each other. Just lack of defensive communication.
See the flow a little bit better for DePaul on these offensive possessions. Making the extra pass into the corner. Garrett driving. And now Stimmage again down low. Rashawn Stimmage, he's got 6.
Great job attacking rim again. They've seen something against this St. John's team. St. John's got to the line quite a bit, 33 times in the first matchup. DePaul giving them a little bit of their own medicine.
Nearly a steal by Garrett. Balamu with a break. Stimmage again with another rebound.
Looks like Bill Garrett Jr. needs a blow. He is sucking wind again. We saw him in the first timeout, TV timeout.
Billy Garrett, hands on those knees. Wood straightaway 3 off the glass and no good. Garrett, who missed the last game because of a lower leg injury. There's Ellison. And they'll get a blocking foul on Aaron Simpson. But we've got a good one so far. 2 points. Missed the game against Marquette. Much needed break at the moment. Eli Kane back on the floor for DePaul as Ellison makes the first of 2 free throw attempts.
Billy Garrett Jr. certainly makes things easier for the Blue Demons. They were having success without him because, Jeff, they are 8 of 9 2-point shots. So they're just really established themselves in the paint like any other game that we've seen this year from them.
They are dominating in the paint, which is odd because of the way that this St. John's team blocks shots. You'd think that they would be settling for more jump shots. But Dave Lato's team, they're not afraid. They're going right at the Red Storm.
Oh.
And now Ellison nearly with a turnover. Out of bounds. It's going to stay with DePaul with 8 on the shot clock.
I really like Malik Ellison, excuse me. He did a really good defensive job against Isaiah Whitehead in the last game in Seton Hall.
Chris Mullen had nothing but praise for his talented freshman as Kane drives and high off the glass. Banks it in.
Eli Big Daddy Kane going to the hole. Nice little arc and English on the backboard there to get the finish.
Guy can play some offense. We've seen him be a little lax on the defensive end already. Dave Lato took him out of the ball game after he didn't hustle back on a fast break. And you can see Dave Lato, every chance he gets, he's trying to coach up Eli Kane.
He is, and he's trying to coach up all these guys. You know, he's still reestablishing a culture here. You know, when you come in, not Kane because he's a freshman, but you talk about Tommy Hamilton, Billy Garrett Jr., Stimmich, Mike Henry. You know, they've been under a different regime. And even though we're late in the season, they're still trying to figure things out.
Mike Henry driving, and he slams it home. Open paint, and Henry. What a move.
Mike Henry, that's bitter beer face material right there. Goes up with a little clutch, gets away from Sema, puts it home.
St. John's with a misfire there from Christian Jones. Trying to answer the big dunk. DePaul up by 4. And more points in the paint. Haven't seen that kind of elevation from Henry over the last couple of weeks. It's good to see.
Oh, yeah, because they need his scoring to build it. And he's a sneaky jumper. He doesn't look like he's going to catch you, but he will if you're not careful.
There goes Ortengazi to the rack. St. John's is starting to get into a bad trend here where they're doubling the ball handler out in three-point territory and leaving the middle wide open.
Well, they're not playing very good perimeter defense. What happens sometimes when you have tremendous shot blockers on the back line, you take chances and they clean up your mistakes. But it's kind of Olay defense right now from St. John's.
Balamu with the right hand. Tough shot. That stops his 6-0 DePaul run.
Boy, you hit it, Jeff. I mean, that was tough. He's going away from the bucket, lays out and throws it back over his head. That was very difficult.
Kane high off the window. Chance to convert for 3. Eli Kane is alive and well here.
There where, you know, some of his habits weren't good early in his career. He addressed those. He became a workout nut, and his game resembled that. A guy that worked his tail off. He could teach a lot of that to this young Red Storm team.
He has put together quite the coaching staff around him as well. And I might be dating myself a bit, but I absolutely loved being the Warriors in NBA Jam just so I could be Chris Mullen to shoot threes.
Yeah, and then, you know, Mitch Richmond, who, in my opinion, during his era in the NBA was the most underrated two-guard in the NBA. I mean, a bruiser of a two-guard, could score in the phone booth.
Michael Jordan said of Mitch Richmond, he was one of the toughest guys that ever guarded him. And he was always a tough guard as well, just because he could score whenever he wanted to. As Hamilton got his shot blocked by Sema. First of the night for Sema. Mvouika driving, chance for a three-point play as Kane picks up the foul. Ron Mvouika, the senior, transfer from Missouri State.
Good job. Sema closed out on a jump shot. I mean, just easy. No foul, keeps it in play. That's what I like about both Sema Nyakwe and Mvouika. Takes the bump, is able to finish. one of the veterans on the ball club. You know, and right now, when we look at DePaul, 12 of 13 on 2-point shots, and yet they're only up 5. I think the 3-point shot, St. John's has knocked down 3 threes. That's really kept them in this game.
3 of 7 from beyond the arc as Garrett driving again. There's another easy bucket on a layup by Billy Garrett.
So now you have Yakwe and Seema in the ball game. You could tell Garrett recognized that.
And Nuggets Seema on an offensive foul, bad screen. Seema will pick up his first personal. That's the 7th team foul, so DePaul's going to be shooting free throws from here on out after this one. 7-point lead matches the largest of the game for the Blue Demons. Henry just inside the 3-point line, hits a long 2.
Well, that was all set up by Rashawn Stimmage rolling hard. And he pulled 2 defenders with him, and Mike Henry was the beneficiary. So Rashawn Stimmage, his effort has been impressive here in the first half.
Stimmage doing good work down low on the post players for St. John's. They have been a non-factor offensively. There's Mvouika. Little off that time and a foul.
Look like they got Kane.
For Eli Kane, that's number 2. Kind of poked his hand in there. Derek Wood will replace him. Or at least for the moment, it looked like he was going to replace him. Kane is going to stay on the floor. Billy Garrett is going to head to the bench.
So you've got Kane in the game now with 2 fouls as a freshman. They've later rolling the dice a little bit.
5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Rossini for 3. Rings in and out. It's a good look.
Well, it was interesting because Seema was wanting him to cut so he could clear some space to go one-on-one. Rossini had other plans. He wanted a jump shot.
And he is not afraid to shoot. Rossini, the second leading scorer on the team, as Kane misses. And Stimmage getting wrapped up down low, get a jump ball, and the basketball will stay with DePaul. Yakwe down on the floor. He was in the scrum. Garrett back on the floor. Now Kane goes to the bench. Very quick break for Billy Garrett.
I like how they're trying to get Billy Garrett in and out of the game to make sure that they can keep him fresh. We just talked about it. He was sitting by himself on the bench a couple times here in the first half, trying to catch his breath.
DePaul with their biggest lead of the game at 9 points, and they're on a 13-4 run, in the last 4 minutes plus. Outside look, and Wood passed it up. Going inside, it was altered by Yakwe, but he was fouled.
I mean, DePaul, they're turning down 3-point looks right now because they're so confident of getting into the paint area. Derek Wood making some good decisions here in the first half. Talented player. Sometimes gets in trouble, though, forcing the issue. Not tonight.
Big East season is in its final weeks. Don't miss a single minute of action. Add the full 2016 schedule to your calendar by going to foxsports.com/Big East TV now. Time is definitely winding down with the tournament coming up starting on March the 9th from Madison Square Garden.
That's going to be a heck of a time, boy. I mean, Seton Hall is scary right now. Even though they let go of a 19-point lead against this Red Storm team, they've got a lot of ability. Isaiah Whitehead, Delgado, and Rodriguez played well in their last game. So Seton Hall third right now in the Big East. We're going to have something to say about the Big East tournament champion before it's all said and done.
Last night we saw Xavier knock off Villanova their home ballpark, home arena in Cincinnati. Creighton playing better basketball. Marquette could be a scary matchup. The St. John's team could be a scary matchup in the tournament.
And it looks like, of course, we don't know the final between Providence and Seton Hall yet, but Providence is going to need to do some work. They have really been in a tailspin down the stretch. They may need to win a couple of the Big East tournament to sigh a little bit of relief.
Don't sleep on Butler either. They are a scrappy team and a veteran team. It's going to be a fun tournament in New York City. Garrett fires from three. First make of the night for DePaul from beyond the arc.
And that's beautiful basketball. The game is simple. Players usually make it harder than it needs to be. That was just inside out, dribble penetration, kick to the wing, kick to the top of the key to the open man. That's really good teamwork.
Johnson stepped on the baseline, out of bounds. Another turnover by St. John's. That is their 8th.
Johnson just nowhere to go. Burton Ghazi in great defensive position and is a lot stronger than most freshmen. Able to hold his ground without fouling.
See the numbers there. DePaul's had so much success down low. Billy Garrett going right to the rack. But it's that success down in the paint that opened up that shot by Billy Garrett from beyond the arc.
Yes, it is. So they're continue to pound the paint. And they're getting open looks and now getting to the free throw line. We're just seeing a little bit of pride here from the Blue Demons. They weren't very pleased with their effort. And they lost a couple games ago at St. John's by 15. They were down 20 in the second half. So a little pride on display here by the Blue Demons.
Sema checking in for Yakwe, who just picked up his first personal.
And that was St. John's beat DePaul. That was their first win in 2 months. No pun intended, they exercised some demons.
Yes, they did. Snapped a 16-game losing streak. And I know DePaul did not feel good on their way back to Chicago after their trip to Carnesecca. Tough shot by Balamu. Thought he got fouled a couple of different times. Wood trying to drive. And now Mike Henry smartly pulls it back out.
Oh, Sean Stimmich has a mismatch if they can find him.
Erten Ghazi dials up a 3 off the mark. Mvouika comes away with that rebound. Ali Begovic, he's going to go to the line, but DePaul.
I think they are the 5th best at this point.
That Xavier Seton Hall game coming up this weekend is going to be a fun one.
Oh, no doubt about it. And Seton Hall, Dean Carrington played extremely well tonight. With Isaiah Whitehead, they took it to Providence. So Seton Hall, first 20-win season in 4 years. So they got it rolling.
Very talented and a very young team out of New Jersey.
First time we see a zone by St. John's.
There's Hannell driving the baseline. Joe Hannell.
Oh, the DePaul bench is going crazy. Billy Garrett's got the biggest smile on his face. Joe Hannell bringing the hammer.
Joe Hannell, a guy who does not get a lot of time. Just 96 minutes total coming into this game. Balamu able to get it inside to Sema, who finishes it off.
Good offense.
Joe Hannell had scored just 11 points all season.
Boy, as soon as you want to praise St. John's, ball comes right back.
A turnover. Garrett gets it inside. Henry up and under on the alley-oop. The Blue Demons playing inspired basketball tonight.
Smell some blood in the water. They're trying to put their foot down. The effort is here by DePaul. It's not like they're shooting the ball extremely well from the outside. They're just attacking the rim.
Dominating inside the paint, outscoring St. John's 24-8 in the paint. And the defense for the Blue Demons forcing 9 turnovers.
Sean Stimmage, last time they ran this horns action, really posted hard. Mike Henry was able to get a jumper. They didn't quite have the same action that time.
3 to shoot. Garrett's got to go up with a bounce pass. Stimmage! Did he beat the clock? No. Officials say no for the time being, but they're going to look at it.
Now we have to remember, this St. John's Ball Club plays hard typically, and they came back against Seton Hall down 19. So by no means is this game over. DePaul has put their stamp on it in the first half.
Sema trying to find the cutter on the baseline. Henry battling down low, still battling. Mvouika, and they're finally waiting for a whistle, and it comes very late. Basketball is going to stay with St. John's. Mvouika and Henry locked up below the basket.
I'm surprised they didn't call Mike Henry for a travel. I mean, he rolled a couple times.
A couple barrel rolls.
That's the effort you want to see for both sides.
The bucket's going to count inside.
See, with both of these teams, they take 2 steps forward and 1 back. Cannot give up a layup underneath out of bounds. That's just lack of concentration. You can see Dave Lato is disgusted.
Mvouika trying to finish off a 3-point play. And it bounces in.
You talk about shooter's touch. 3-quarter court, 2-2-1 action by the Red Storm.
Under a minute to play here. Just trying to get some momentum going into the locker room. St. John's down by 14. Garrett thought he was fouled. 10 to shoot. Hamilton finds Handel down low. Good defense that time by St. John's. Johnson for 3. Too strong. Rebound. Corralled by Handel. Now 2 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. And Billy Garrett's going to call timeout. And DePaul is going to talk about a potential final shot.
They're going to challenge St. John's until they can send some back. And Sema, really the only player on St. John's with a block here in the first half.
One block for the entire team as Eli Kane drills a 3 for good measure. And now a timeout called by Chris Mullen to set up the final shot of the half. He's off to a good start in his first half. Final shot for St. John's. Ellison gets it over to Johnson. His 3 off the mark. Rebound by Henry. And that is how the first half will end. DePaul with a 40
furious comeback.
They rallied from 19 down against Seton Hall. They're down 17 as we begin the second half here in Chicago. Billy Garrett kicks it out. Mike Henry still hasn't missed a shot. Henry's got 13.
Billy Garrett Jr. getting into the post area. 7th assist already on the night. Remember, Jeff, he struggled a little bit with his wind, it seemed like, early in the game, but he has no ill effects right now.
Eli Kane poked it away, thought he was fouled. We go back to Mike Henry. Look at all the red uniforms around Billy Garrett.
And Mike Henry spaces very nicely. Yakwe cannot cover quickly enough to bother his jumper.
And Mike Henry is so pivotal for this DePaul team. He scores, he rebounds, he plays good defense. Tough shot by Yakwe. And here comes DePaul looking to add their 20-point lead.
DePaul's going to give Yakwe that jumper so he can stick it consistently. They're going to sag back in defensively.
And finally a miss by Mike Henry. It was altered by Yakwe. Into the corner, Ellison now goes baseline, blocked, and a foul instead on Henry. Looked like he had some pretty good motion right there towards Ellison. As we mentioned, Henry doing it all for this DePaul team, one of just 5 players in the country that leads his team in points, rebounds, and steals.
And he's doing it from like a 3-4 position, stretch 4 position, so he's really doing a great job of touching so many areas of the game. And, you know, his points tonight, Jeff, they've come in the flow. He hasn't forced much. That last shot maybe was his first forced attempt of the night.
And some pretty elite company right there. The likes of Gary Payton, the second out at Oregon State. Ben Simmons at LSU, one of the best players in the country. And a lot of people think he's going to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft coming up next year.
If he's not, there's a conspiracy to it. Because, well, at 6'10", it's not, I don't know if there's anything he can't do. He's going to smooth out that jumper.
Tommy Hamilton knocks down a jumper. He's got 6 points.
But Tommy Hamilton can reverse pivot at the elbow area, the free throw line area. Opposing bigs have a dilemma because he does such a good job with his jab step. He jab steps, creates the space, just enough to get the jumper off.
Deron Johnson kept the ball in play. Mvouika from 3 knocks it down, and a chance for a 4-point play.
Aaron Simpson didn't like the call. Typically, though, the replay will show something different. Let's take a look. Well, Ron Mvouika, he sold it.
If there was contact, it was slight. Nonetheless, Mvouika knocks down the triple. Simpson goes to the bench with his 3rd personal. See a lot of Derek Wood here in the second half. And Mvouika completes the rare 4-point play.
So that's the type of thing that could get St. John's going. Give them a little momentum. Back in this 2-2-1. Billy Garrett doing a good job of not allowing the pseudo pressure, because it's not, doesn't look like it's designed to come up with steals, just taking time off the shot clock, which is done.
8 to shoot for DePaul. Hamilton. And now Kane with Ellison all over him. Tough shot. And you see the defensive presence by Malik Ellison.
When I see a college player, when the shot clock is running down, put the ball on the deck and try to get to the rim, I'm going to stand up and give them a round of applause, because I haven't been able to do it all season. It just baffles me, and I'm not getting on Eli Kane in particular, but just in general, when the shot clock is running down, guys in today's era think that they can just kind of sidestep and get away from the defense and shoot a contested 3. It makes no sense. They've lived in the paint all first half. Put the ball on the deck and make something happen in the paint area.
Not everybody is built to make shots like Steph Curry. There are only a rare few that can do that. That's
true.
Why they are as good as they are.
That's a great point.
And another turnover by St. John's. There's that good defense by DePaul. That's the 10th turnover. Billy Garrett with a short floater. Another bad pass. St. John's trying to do too much. There goes Wood, 1-on-2, and he was fouled. Mvouika wrapped him up, even though Mvouika had help behind him.
Derek Wood, I was a little surprised he went 1-on-2 that time, but he sidestepped him and drew the foul. All seems like they've steadied themselves after that 4-point play by St. John's.
First make by Wood. Saturday, the #1 team in the nation is back on Fox as top-ranked Villanova takes on Marquette. It's all at 1:30 Eastern on your local Fox affiliate and streaming live on Fox Sports Go, sponsored by Jeep Renegade. It's how we live, 4x forever. Might not be #1 after losing to Xavier. Got to believe they'll drop down in the ranks. They are still the top dog in the country for at least another couple days.
And Marquette played Villanova well at Villanova early in the season. And we've seen Marquette win games that seemed improbable on paper.
Mvouika misfires out of bounds. And it's going to go to DePaul. That Marquette team, they are sneaky.
Yes.
Guys like Henry Ellenson and Luke Fisher down low, they can dominate games. Hanif Cheatham has played well at the point guard position. You don't even talk about Juwan Johnson and Dwayne Wilson, who can score.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson's really played well last 5 games coming down the stretch. So Marquette is a very dangerous ball club, whether at home or on the road.
Marquette beat Creighton last night. Henry Ellenson with his 16th double-double of the season. Garrett Wood fouled on his way to the rack.
Yeah, Henry Ellenson just makes it look easy. I mean, when you watch him play, and Jeff, we've done a lot of their games this year. You know, he just kind of goes in the flow, but he gets his shots off. He gets to the glass, and you look up, and he's got 20 and 10. It's like, how did that happen?
It's quiet and scary at the same time.
Yeah, because he's efficient. He's not a high-volume shooter. He's not a guy who's very selfish. Loves playing with his teammates. He and Luke Fisher. I think Luke Fisher may be the best passer out of the post that we have in the Big East Conference. So, very talented tandem at Marquette.
We've got a big test for Villanova this weekend. St. John's trying to claw their way back in. Deron Johnson from three. That'll help. And Deron Johnson just...
Who he was talking to, Mike Roberts, that's a quick tee, and Mike Roberts is one of the veteran officials that we have in the game, so he heard something he didn't like.
One of the best free throw shooters in the conference, Billy Garrett. Perfect on two. He's got 11 points. 3 Blue Demons in double figures. Mike Henry with 13 to lead all scorers. Eli Kane on the bench with 3 personals. He has 11 points, and Garrett with 11 as well.
Nice balance by DePaul and getting the ball. We've been harping on it all evening long. When they've dedicated themselves to getting into the post area, they have not really been stopped.
Good ball movement by Hamilton, but swatted away by Yakwe. My goodness. Now with 3, and that one finds the bottom. Big 3 by Mvouika.
Well, that was a quick strike. And you see how energized St. John's gets behind those blocks.
Hamilton, another turnover. And oh my, how that ebb and flow has changed back over to St. John's with the momentum.
And you see the block right there. Looked like there's a little bit of contact. But Johnson running it up quickly. Finds his backcourt mate, Mvouika, and he converts. Let's see if St. John's can put a couple nice possessions together, close this lead at single digits.
There goes Johnson, well short on the 3. That one goes down for St. John's. You got a brand new ball game. There's Ghazi up and under. Couldn't get the roll. Tough shot. We're seeing DePaul 3 straight possessions go to the baseline. Mvouika turns it into 2 on the other end.
Well, it's a totally different team. Talking about St. John's, they were flat-footed in the first half. They're energized now.
Now they come away with a steal. Ellison fouled. He'll go to the line. And now you see DePaul getting frustrated with one another. St. John's on a 12-4 run. Free throws pending by Ellison.
You know, Mike Henry does not like pressure. And he's very tentative when he sees pressure come at him. And as a senior, you're a little surprised at that. You could tell right there he did not want the ball in that situation.
That's one thing we talked to Chris Mullen about before the game today. He said Mike Henry, when he has the ball in his hands, he likes to go and he likes to score.
Yep.
Doesn't love passing the basketball.
That's true.
You force him to pass, and typically good things happen for your defense if you're St. John's.
And you see DePaul maybe adjust where they put Mike Henry against the pressure defense.
Wilson, he's got 8 points. 5 of those coming from the free throw line. And then they put that pressure on Henry. R.J. Currington on the floor for the first time for DePaul.
And see this pressure, this 2-1, 3/4 court pressure, it's made DePaul a little hesitant.
Garrett fires from 3, well short. Offensive rebound, Stimmage. He's got 8 points and 5 boards.
Hassan Stimmage. He's accepted his role as JYD, junkyard dog. When he sticks and stays within his game, really effective.
He takes a lot of pride in that, too. Career high 9 rebounds last time out against Marquette on Saturday, and 6 of those came on the offensive end.
And you're talking about rebound, that kind of rebound against those Twin Towers. So that's impressive effort by Stimmage.
St. John's right back in it. It's a 13-point game. DePaul led by as many as 21 at one point in this half. Yaqui backing down. And Sema kicks. Mvouika just a little off. Had a good look. Currington smartly backed it out. Henry looking to score. And he was short. Currington with the offensive board. No reset on the shot clock. And a double dribble by Currington. 8th turnover by the Blue Demons.
Well, now you've seen DePaul coming unraveled a little bit. Guys in position where they're not very comfortable. Currington got pressured there, was trying to cross Sema up. Sema in great defensive position, and now momentum all on the side of St. John's, and then that happens.
Careless turnover from Ellison and Mvouika. Right into the hands of their head coach, Chris Mullen.
Chris Mullen does a good job of keeping a poker face, but you can tell by the color of his skin. He's red hot over there right now.
DePaul just 1 for their last 7 from the floor. Garrett driving. And a foul. Foul on Yaqui. That'll be his 2nd personal, and Stimmage will go to the line. Not a very good free throw shooter. These are his first of the night.
Well, watch his form. He doesn't have bad form. Just doesn't have a lot of confidence. Not a lot of wasted motion. He's got nice follow through. He just hasn't seen enough of them go down to develop some consistency and confidence. Right now, St. John's starting to put together a few stops. Look like their intensity's picked up. They're moving quicker. The ball's moving quicker on the offensive end. Typically, good things happen.
Sema coming off the screen. And now Stimmage jumps up in front of the entry pass. Steal by Stimmage. Up ahead, there's Wood! Another slam by DePaul. Timeout, St. John. He was not assessed for the technical. St. John's has possession. Trying to climb back in, down by 16. Rossini very nearly turned it over again.
It's interesting how good Rossini was in a non-conference slate. When you get the Big East, against those veteran guards who've seen you on tape a couple times, a little bit tougher to get your shot off.
Christian Jones a little out of control on that possession for the Red Storm. We talk about the talent of the folks that are in the building, Mullen, Richmond, McGuire, but how about the dad of Nick Ellison, Purvis?
Never nervous Purvis. NCAA tournament MVP as a freshman.
Former #1 overall pick of the Sacramento Kings back in 1989.
St. John's has gone to a little matchup zone, which has really confused DePaul and limited their ability to get to the paint.
St. John's, they have not found the bottom of the basket in a while. It's been over 3 minutes since they last converted a field goal. Alley-oop try to Yaqui, and he'll go to the line as he was fouled on the shot.
Boy, Yaqui went upstairs to get that pass. Showing you a little bit of that athleticism. And he's able to get to the line.
That guy can fly.
Oh, man. I mean, long arms, quick off the floor. He can wreak havoc on the interior.
And just a freshman, he's got room to grow. Yakwe from Mali, went to high school in New York. Didn't stray too far. Playing at St. John's for Chris Mullen. He's going to learn a lot playing for this coaching staff over the next few years. 1 out of 2 from the free throw line.
He's got nice form as well. Talking about Stimmage and his struggles, but Yakwe's got nice form. His shot almost looks a little bit like Chris Bosh to me in terms of how he gets it in the pocket.
Stimmage nearly threw it away. Garrett driving, finds Stimmage and rejected, but a foul. Yakwe thought he got all ball. Stimmage is going to go to the line. But look at him defend that rim.
Tell you what, I'm not so sure Yakwe didn't get all ball. Watch him go. Oh, okay. Balamu is who got the foul call, but Yakwe, he got all ball that time.
It's Balamu. He did get the personal. It's his second. I'm really impressed. First time I've seen Kasum Yakwe play this year. And that guy could jump out of the gym.
Yeah, and I mean, he was a handful against Seton Hall, and Seton Hall's got some guys up front. Delgado, Angel Delgado, one of the better post presences in the Big East, and Yakwe ended up with 16 points, 15 rebounds.
When you look at him, it's not a huge presence either. Guy's 6'7", but so much athleticism down low. Musini back on the floor for St. John's. This is Mvouika. There's Musini, and he got blocked by Stimmage, who closed out nicely out on the corner.
Well, Mvouika held the ball too long. When he caught it, if he swung it to Musini as soon as he got it, he would have had an open look.
Another block by Stimmage. He adds to his team lead. Only one other player on this DePaul roster is in double digits with their blocks, and a 3 hit by Mvouika. He has 17 to lead all scorers. 12-point game now. And St. John's has started to hit on their threes. Swinging around, that's Kane. And he answers with a 3 of his own.
He is confident now. Career high 25 against St. John's a couple games ago. Picking up right where he left off.
First points of the second half for Eli Kane. Gotta be careful, he's in foul trouble. Musini put it on the floor. There's Jones with a jumper. Too strong, and Henry skies for another rebound. He's got 6. Garrett going to the rack, slotted away. They'll count it for a goaltend. And for Billy Garrett, those 2 points now puts him in 37th place all time on the DePaul scoring list.
Good job by Garrett turning down the pick and roll. Going away from the pick and roll, gets all the way to the rim. Boy, I mean, I don't know what R.J. Carrington did, but Dave Lato gave him an earful just now.
Here's Jones up and under. Chance to convert a 3-point play. Nice baseline move.
Hey, Christian Jones, just great build. Feels Mike Henry's pressure, goes the other way, finishes along the baseline.
It's a big foul on Mike Henry. That's number 4 with just under 10 minutes to go in this game. One of your leading scorers now relegated to the bench for Dave Lato.
Again, St. John's just kind of hanging around, Jeff. They get down by 16, 17, and they cut it to 13. So DePaul's got to be careful.
St. John's, if they can get this to 10 or less than 10 into single digits, they start to believe a little bit more. It's a very good second half team, but they have to hit their free throws. That has been a big-time problem for them all year, 63.7%, and they're 10 for 17 tonight.
Yeah, they Missed 14 free throws in a 1-point loss to Seton Hall, so definitely had some opportunities, and they may have some here as the game comes down the stretch.
Rossini with a miss there from 3. If it goes down, it looks like a great shot. You got to have quality possessions right now if you're St. John's.
You do, and it's still way too early to kind of panic in terms of taking that quick of a 3, but Rossini has not been able to get many good looks at the rim.
Hamilton backing down on Yakwe.
See, Tommy Hamilton knows that with Yakwe, Hamilton's got a size advantage. If he can get his body into the chest of Yakwe, kind of eliminates his ability to get off the floor.
Jones doubled, finds the open man. That's Musini. Again off from 3. Musini 0 for 5 in the game. He's yet to score a point. There's Garrett hoisting a 3 off. Offensive rebound, Joe Hamill. Hamilton to the right hand, short.
Right now, St. John.
And now a chance for a 3-point play by Jones. All the momentum right now is St. John's.
Well, he's been active on that post last 3 possessions. St. John's looking for him. He's coming from weak side to strong side. I mean, he has finished very well when he's had his opportunities.
Musini going to the bench, not happy. Jones converts on that 3-point play, down to a 14-point game.
So now you're DePaul, and you've got Billy Garrett Jr. out of the game. So you've got Derek Wood and Eli Kane, your primary scorers on the perimeter.
And nearly a turnover off the leg of Sema. 6
Yes.
10 players, 10 brand new guys coming in. DePaul just trying to change the culture, and an offensive foul on Derek Wood using the hand. Beg your pardon, it was not on Wood. I believe they got Stimmage for a bad screen. Another turnover nonetheless for DePaul.
Now, score here, down 11 or 12. And feeling good with plenty of time left in the game. St. John's has done a good job here in the second half, just hanging around. Adjusted their defense, slowed DePaul down enough for them to fight their way back into this game.
Jones going to work down low, 3 by Mvouika. Had it altered. He thought he got fouled. He went to the deck afterwards.
Jones has got to shoot that. He put Mvouika in a tough position. He's in the air in the paint. You're not going to get a much better shot than what he had.
Jones has been putting his team on his back the last few possessions, too. Simpson fires from 3. St. John's goes the other way. Mvouika into the corner. Rims in and out. There's Jones. And they'll get Stimmage with a push. And for Stimmage, that's number 4.
Now the fouls racking up against DePaul. St. John's getting on the push. See Jones come in. Strong offensive rebound.
2 players now with 4 fouls for DePaul. Mike Henry and now Stimmage, Eli Kane, and Aaron Simpson. They each have 3. St. John's only 1 guy in foul trouble. That is Deron Johnson. He's got 4, but he's in the game. They need his scoring.
So when you look at St. John's and the room for improvement that they'll have, got to convert free throws, especially on the road. Talked about it. They struggled last game, missing 14 free throws in the Garden. And you lose a 1-point game and you miss 14 free throws, that's got to hurt.
Those are the kind of games that'll keep you up at night. I know they were down by 19 and they battled back to get into it. But just those 14 points, and you're looking at maybe an easier game.
Oh, no doubt. And they were up 3 down the stretch in the second half. And if you hit your free throws, you may be able to maintain a lead.
Eli Kane had it altered by Sema. Valamu smartly pulled it back out. Mvouika straightaway 3 off the mark. Simpson had it ripped away, and it's going to go to DePaul.
Boy, frantic possession that time, both ways. Loose ball coming up. Testing level is at a high level right now. Paul sensing that St. John's keeps creeping back.
Joe Hannell has played quality minutes off the bench for DePaul. The foul trouble that they've had with their bigs.
Hannell's come in and done a good job in place of Peter Rickbosch would get those minutes typically.
Hamilton straightaway 3, rims in and out. How about Simpson high into the air for the rebound? And they'll get a foul on Yankuba Sema.
We've seen Aaron Simpson do this before. He can come in and offensive rebound very well for a guard.
He's got some serious hops. Not a big guy by any stretch.
Got a big heart though. Getting in that paint, not scared of contact.
Love having those kind of guys on your team.
So they got Sema again.
And that'll be his 4th. Sema, who's been quiet, only 2 points and 2 boards. He's got those 4 fouls now. St. John's team starting to run out of depth on that front line.
I think DePaul's done a good job of getting into the body of Sema. Really kept him from being much of a factor on the defensive end. I saw Billy Garrett Jr. come through and pop him a couple times. And Tommy Hamilton hitting him every chance they get. So upperclassmen giving some freshmen a little bit of a little tap love.
Tommy Hamilton now with 10 points. He's the 4th Blue Demon in double figures. Johnson from the baseline. That was not a good shot, but the putback good by Sema. And now here comes full court pressure by St. John's. At this point, you kind of have to. Kane threw it away. Out of bounds, it's going to stay with DePaul. Sema got his hands on it, arguing with the official that it should be St. John's ball.
I think the officials got that right.
I agree. And now off the hands of Hannell. Jones going the other way. Jones fouled. So you're going to get an intentional foul by Joe Hannell. So free throws and the ball for St. John's.
You see Hannell's trying to make a good play on the ball, but you can't grab a player in that situation. So you get a flagrant 1. And ironically, last night, Ben Venzel got a flagrant 2 and was ejected from the game. So got to be careful, and that's put in place to protect players.
It's been the bugaboo all night for St. John's, hitting those free throws. They are now 12 of 21. Make it 12 of 22 from the free throw line.
Jones is an upperclassman, and one of the cardinal rules of free throw shooting is not to lean forward. Every time he shoots, he finishes stepping over the line. So his momentum is going forward, not straight up and down. So it's hard to develop consistency like that.
Now Jones goes right to the rack and threw it off the backboard. So St. John's had an opportunity there to really cut into this deficit, and they come away with no points.
That's been the bugaboo, as you said, for St. John's most of the season.
Handle drives, kicks. And Garrett from the elbow. Billy Garrett, he's got 15 to lead the Blue Demons.
Stops the bleeding a little bit. Gives him a little bit more of a cushion. St. John's is steadily coming. I mean, we heard in the last huddle. Always tell him we got plenty of time.
And when you've got a guy like Mvouika draining threes like he is, he's got a game-high 20. And he's hit 4 of his 9 from beyond the arc. Simpson nearly turned it over for DePaul. Back to a 12-point game.
You see what happens. DePaul breaks the pressure, but they're not looking to make St. John's pay. They just get the ball over half court, and they kind of take a deep breath.
Simpson knocks down a huge 3 for DePaul.
And he has not shot the ball very well lately either, so that's showing you a little man with big heart.
Just his second shot of the night, the biggest one. Sema down low, got lost. And now if you're DePaul, it's a 13-point game, but it's almost like that 4-minute offense. Lead that clock down, have a good possession on offense.
You want high-quality shots. If you get high-quality shots, you can't do that, though.
And it poked away, 3-on-2. Ellison cannot hit. He'll go to the line, shoot a couple. DePaul.
With the lack of effort on the defensive end by DePaul.
And if St. John's would just hit some of their free throws like Ellison did just a moment ago, it would be even closer than the 12-point margin that it is right now. He's 5 of the last 8. 2 big ones by Ellison.
I like Malik Ellison. I think he's going to be quite a player. He's got great size at the guard position, and he's a willing defender.
Billy Garrett being locked up by Johnson. Garrett with a double-double tonight with 15 points and 10 assists.
Johnson's got to be careful.
And now a steal. There's Sema running the floor, and the big man flushes it home.
Like there's a delay game on Sema right there. But that's actually not a bad play for him. It's the first warning of the game, and it allows St. John's to get set up defensively.
St. John's now within 9 points. It's the first time that St. John's has had it under a 10-point deficit since the first half when it was 31-23. They've picked up the intensity on the defensive end, too. They got Mike Henry right where they want him. Garrett finally gets it over the timeline.
I expect Billy Garrett Jr. to take over here.
And there's a foul. It looks like they're going to get Sema, and they do. That's number 5. Now, Kuba Sema is going to foul out of this game with 8 points and 3 rebounds. Christian Jones, who has dominated at times here in this game, is going to check in for Sema.
And Sema just struggled offensively. Just never could get going. Looked like he knocked knees there with Garrett.
Garrett at the line. And he makes the first, makes it a 10-point game. Garrett perfect from the free throw line, 5 for 5.
Garrett had a tremendous game here and overcame some early fatigue issues. Really just been very comfortable looking on the floor all game long.
And DePaul missed him badly against Marquette. Marquette came in here to Allstate Arena and beat the Blue Demons by 13 points. Garrett missed the game because of a lower leg injury as Johnson jacks up a 3 and it's no good. Another possession though, Yakwe. An offensive rebound going to work on Henry. Tough shot. And Henry corrals the rebound.
Did you see how high Yakwe got on that jumper? He shot down at the rim, it looked like.
That's a tough angle.
Yeah, it might have been an optical illusion or something, but boy, he was off the ground.
I think it's the neon shoes.
It could be. Maybe those old Reeboks when you pump them up a little bit.
Simpson, too strong on a three, tapped out. St. John's has it. Ellison on the drive, fouled by Garrett.
Mvouika, we've seen him several times tonight. Make some really nice lead passes to the opposite side of the floor. One time it was Ellison that was the beneficiary, and the other time was Johnson. So St. John's really doing a good job of getting out here. They may not have enough time. They've definitely picked it up.
Ellison's in double digits, along with Mvouika. He is now 8 of 9 from the free throw line. And most of his work has come today. Hit a three. He's got those 8 free throws. Make it 9, and it's down to a 9-point game again. Still lots of time left.
Oh, plenty of time if they can get a couple stops here.
DePaul has not had any issues with breaking this St. John's press recently. Henry gets across the timeline. Eli Kane dishes it down. Stimmage loses the handle. Big chance for St. John's. Corner three. Off the mark. Offensive board by Jones and a foul. They'll get Stimmage.
Worst case scenario for DePaul right there. You foul Jones. No time goes off the clock. St. John's gets a chance to get to the free throw line.
Stimmage has just fouled out of this game. Stimmage doing great work on the board. 6 rebounds, 9 points. Most of that done in the first half. But DePaul will be without his services for the final minute 19. Well, DePaul forced to play small now.
Yep.
Might not be a bad thing, though.
Yeah, especially against the pressure of St. John's. Watch Jones when he finishes his shot. He's going to be over the free throw line. Oh, that time he didn't do it.
And the ball went in.
And the ball went in. So Jones seems to have figured out his struggles there from the line.
Went to the Stephen Bardo clinic on shooting free throws.
I don't know about clinic. I just know the rule of verticality applies a lot of times at the free throw line as well.
Jones made them both. A new 7-point game and a 10-2 run for St. John's.
Trying to keep it out of Billy Garrett Jr.'s hands, but now another opportunity to make something happen.
10 to shoot. Ball just slinging the basketball around and bleeding this clock down. Garrett driving and a foul with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. You get your best free throw shooter going to the line.
You know what I just saw? I think I got to stand up and applaud.
Shot clock winding down, and somebody put it on the floor.
And puts it on the floor. I mean, good things happen when you go towards the rim. Good job, Billy Garrett Jr.
He's had a heck of a ball game here tonight, leading the Blue Demons with 17 points. He's been perfect from the free throw line. 10 assists. Knocks down a big free throw there, gets it back to an 8-point game. 51.7 to go, and this is where, if you're St. John's, you got to start jacking up threes.
You got to get some quick shots, preferably threes, and hopefully get a couple steals here. If DePaul can continue to knock down those free throws, they should be in pretty good shape.
8 for 27 from beyond the arc for St. John's. It's a 9-point lead for DePaul, under a minute to play. St. John's got to go quick. Mvouika from 3, couldn't get it. Yakwe battling, Ellison gets the tip back. Johnson 3, that one finds the bottom. And now a timeout called by St. John's. They're still.
So go through this conference and you're the best player on the team. A lot of times those opposing teams will Mark you up.
Mike Henry fouled. See who they give it to. And it looks like they will give it to Yakwe. And for Yakwe, that's his third. Had they assessed the foul on Johnson, it would have been his fifth. Yakwe picks up his third.
Let me say something here, Jeff. That time, St. John's had Mike Henry exactly where they want. Along the sideline, double team. You don't necessarily need to foul in that situation. Try to go for a steal. Now, if the ball comes out, then you've got a foul. But there's still 32 seconds left. It wasn't a very smart decision by the Red Storm that time.
They had done a really good job of the pressure of making Mike Henry make a pass. And now Henry rattles home 2 free throws. And DePaul has made 8. Ellison, Jones, Johnson, and Mvouika for St. John's. There's Johnson. And that one couldn't fall. Henry with a rebound. And with 22 seconds left, Mike Henry's going to go to the line. Mvouika picks up the personal. That's number 3.
So long as DePaul continues to convert at the line, they should be in good shape, and it should feel good about this win, any win in conference play in this league. Hey, you need to celebrate that.
You look at what DePaul has coming up. They have an opportunity to play spoilers down the stretch. They have Providence on Saturday, and then they go to Villanova and Seton Hall to finish up the season. If they can steal one of those wins, they could have a big-time factor in seeding for the Big East tournament and momentum for one of those other teams.
That's true. And Providence, we've seen them drop several games at home already in Big East regular season play.
St. John's staying alive. What an acrobatic shot that was by Deron Johnson. 5 of 12 from beyond the arc. All five of his makes from distance. And he might have had a chance at a 4-point play there. There was some contact from Wood.
Yeah, he was trying to draw the contact there and showing you that strength.
Eli Kane hits the first.
It's tough to defend in this situation when it's just scramble mode and St. John's letting it go. But DePaul doing exactly what they need to do.
12 straight free throws made by DePaul. Mvouika for 3. That's no good. Kane couldn't get it. Jones has it. Turnaround jumper short. Yakwe with an ugly shot but a foul. I understand why it was an ugly shot now. He got his hand altered.
Eli Kane is going to get a tongue lashing on that one. And he's putting his hands up like he didn't foul, but Lamont Simpson was right there. And it's just there's no need for it. They're in the locker room right now.
Yakwe rolls one in. Yakwe with 6 points after being Big East honorable mention last week, averaging a double-double. Quiet night offensively tonight.
Hey.
And Mike Henry, there's going to be a lane violation. And Eli Kane, he's going to get into the doghouse a little bit more with Dave Lato.
Yeah, it's just mental fatigue maybe, mental errors. I'm not sure, but he's a smarter player than this. It's not the way that you want to finish out a game.
And Yakwe misses that one. Billy Garrett corrals the rebound. And that's going to do it from Chicago. 83.